Hello everyone, my name is Deepti from Maxxcell, a TOEFL trainer who has trained many students to get their desired score to get into an university to study abroad. In today's video, we will see how to build vocabulary for TOEFL. If you wish to receive updates in relation to such content, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've also made a series of videos in relation to different sections pertaining to TOEFL. So if you wish to look into them, you can always do so on our YouTube channel. Now coming back to the video, we will see how to build vocabulary for the TOEFL exam. A strong vocabulary is crucial for achieving a high score on the TOEFL exam. Yes, particularly in all sections, be it reading, be it listening, speaking, or writing. So these are the 4 sections which are included in the TOEFL. So let us see a step-by-step strategic approach to build vocabulary for the TOEFL test. Now the first one being prioritize high-frequency TOEFL vocabulary. Now you need to focus on high-frequency vocabulary. For example, certain terms which are commonly found in TOEFL reading lectures, okay, and prompts. So to begin with, you need to master these words. For example, ambiguous, it can be abundant, accumulate, or adverse. So what you need to do is you need to make a study plan, and in that you need to include academic word list, which is also known as AWL. Okay, so you need to focus on word types such as analyze, significant, and hypothesis. Okay, so what happens is that when you familiarize yourself with TOEFL specific vocabulary, it also helps you to learn terms which are frequently used in reading and listening section. For example, phenomenon, precede. Okay, so what happens is that when you know what are the different vocabulary words used in the exam, then it becomes easy for you to tackle the particular section. Yes, now the main thing what you need to do is that you can maintain a vocabulary notebook. Okay, so this also helps in relation to who scoring high in the exam. So where you can record synonyms, and antonyms. And at the same time, you can also write some example sentences using the same, which helps you in the exam. So just not using the synonyms and antonyms, but you need to apply it as well. Okay, so this is the first step. So what is the first step? You need to prioritize high frequency TOEFL vocabulary. Let's move on to the next one, which is to implement contextual learning. Now, when it comes to contextual learning, grasping words, okay, within their context enhances retention. So what happens is that when you know certain words which you can use in a particular context in relation to speaking or in reading section, then it becomes vital to score well. Okay, now reading passages which are similar to TOEFL content from the sources, like you can always refer to sources like New York Times, okay, and then National Geographic Channel, which will help you. And also you can always refer to some academic journals. Okay, so this has a lot of words which are used in context to the sentence. For example, The eminent scientist was invited to give a lecture at the university. So if you know this word, eminent, okay, so then it becomes easy because it is nothing but famous or respected within a particular profession. So this is how you can use the word eminent, and you know how to use it in a particular context. Yes, so then what is the next thing what you need to know? The second one is to implement contextual learning. Now what happens is that apart from this, you can also watch some academic podcasts to observe the natural usage of vocabulary. So watch documentaries covering topics in relation to. So what are the different topics you need to go through? They are science. Okay, so this is the one. Second one can be history. Okay, and the last one can be economics. So these are certain topics which you can go through in relation to contextual learning, which will help you to encounter academic language in practical scenarios. Okay, so this is something which you need to do. Then let us go on to the next one, which is implement flashcards for spaced repetition. Now, what do you mean by this? So it means that utilizing flashcards, it enhances the retention of information over a long period of time. So it is not about just using the vocabulary in particular context, but you need to be able to retain that as well. So what you can do here is that you can utilize certain platforms, which is Enki, okay, then Quizlet and Memrise. So these are certain platforms which you can use to develop digital flashcards. Okay, so in order to use this, and you can organize the vocabulary into categories such as nouns, verbs, and adjectives, and also idioms. Okay, so these are certain categories in which you can organize your vocabulary and engage in active recall by self-testing on daily basis. So this is something which is required when it comes to the TOEFL exam. Okay, so let us go on to the next one, which is learn collocations and word families. Now, TOEFL examiners assess your proficiency in using words in a natural context. So you need to see to it that as much as possible, you are spontaneous and at the same time, you sound quite natural. Yes, so what you need to do for that is that you need to familiarize yourself with word families. So you need to familiarize, like for example, analyze. Okay, so in relation to that, you need to know the verb. Okay, and you need to who know that when it comes to analysis, it is a noun. Okay, and when it is analytical, it is a adjective. Okay, so this is something which you need to know. So once you know the collocations and how to use them, then automatically everything falls in place. So learn collocations, for example, you always use this, make a decision. So this is one of the example of collocation. Another can be conduct research. So they go hand in hand. And the next one is highly significant. Okay, so you can always refer to resources like Cambridge. Okay, so Cambridge Collocations Dictionary or Oxford Word Skills. So this is something or Oxford. So these are the two resources which you can use when it comes to learning collocations and word families. So this is the next one which you need to know when it comes to building your vocabulary. Yes. Now, what you can also do is that you can always compose brief TOEFL essays that incorporate new vocabulary to strengthen your understanding. So just knowing is not enough. You need to also try to implement it so that it will help you to understand better and use it in the exam. Yes. Now let us go on to the next one, which is practice TOEFL style exercises. So this is a very helpful one Okay, so what happens here is that you need to apply vocabulary in exercises tailored to TOEFL format. So you need to always refer to the TOEFL format. Okay, so this is something, so everything is whatever you learn, you need to start using it in relation to the format so that it can enhance the recall. Okay, so now what you can do is you can complete practice test for TOEFL in different sections, be it reading, be it listening. Okay, so in different sections, making unfamiliar, so you can mark when you are doing this exercises, you can always mark unfamiliar words. Okay, so once you know this unfamiliar words, then it will help you in the exam as well. And work on gap fill exercises to access your understanding of word usage. So what happens is that when attempting paraphrasing exercises to increase your flexibility with words. So another thing which you can start doing is paraphrasing. So paraphrasing is quite important when it comes to TOEFL exam because that will increase your flexibility with words. Okay. For example, I dash rather listen to country music than a jazz. So if you are given options like should, would, will, which would you choose? And I feel the right one would be would. That is the option to go with because it will, I would rather listen to country music than a jazz. Okay. So this is why you require a lot of practice exercises. So this is another important point. Then coming to the next one is to master synonyms and paraphrasing. So just using them is not important, but you need to also master them. So TOEFL assesses your ability to identify synonyms with questions and answers. So which is vital. Again, so what you need to do here is that you need to familiarize yourself with synonyms and paraphrasing. So this is important. Okay, so it will help you if you know a lot of synonyms, antonyms, and you need to frequently use these words. So what you can do is you can start rewriting the sentences so that it becomes a practice for you and TOEFL from the TOEFL reading passages using alternative vocabulary and engage in word association games to enhance memory retention. So once you know the words, then you are rewriting the sentences. So first you familiarize yourself, then you know the words. So the first part is familiarizing, second one is rewriting, and the third one is the memory retention. Okay, so this is something which is required. So this step-by-step process is required when it comes to the TOEFL exam. Now, in TOEFL questions, frequently rephrase essential concepts. So practice identifying those statements. So this is something which you can do as well. Okay. So this is the next point. Now let us go on to the next one, which is to speak and write daily using new vocabulary. So if you do this, automatically it becomes a habit and it will be useful when you're attempting the test. Okay, so you can incorporate new words into your conversation. So when you're conversing as well, okay, so in your conversation, you can use these words and also in your writing. Okay, so what happens is that when you use it in your conversation and your writing, automatically it promotes better retention. So what you can do is you can always practice speaking, TOEFL speaking task 1 and 2 with newly learned vocabulary so that you can apply it. And you can also compose brief essays or journal entries each day. So this is how you can uh, plan the action and seek feedback on your vocabulary usage from a teacher or a language partner. So also you can take a feedback on whatever you have developed as a new vocabulary. So whether your usage is correct or it requires little improvement. Okay, so what you can do is you can always participate in group forums which take part in vocabulary discussion. So you can participate in vocabulary discussion. So this is something which you can do to see that you are improving at every stage. Okay, so this is these are some of the strategies which you can use to build your vocabulary for TOEFL exam. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like button and you can share and subscribe to our YouTube channel to receive more updates. Until then, thank you.